Everyone coming today, and this is scheduled to be a relatively short meeting. This is strictly informational. We don't have any decisions that I'm aware of that the committee needs to make, but I like to do it at least on a quarterly basis to bring the court up to date on kind of the operations of the landfill. You do have a little spreadsheet in front of you, and I realize it's a little hard to read, but to get it all in one sheet, I pretty well had to make it that way. I've kind of circled the main points that we want to talk about a little bit. As you can see, our total revenue through the first 6 months has been $1,617,451.25. That's the actual revenue that has come in. And then you have the line items. We won't go into those unless at the end if someone had a particular question about one. Our expenses for the 6 months total $994,527.33. And then the percentage that you see on the side, if you look on our printout that the Finance Committee and others get in the month, it's showing like a 33% of the budget, which is not accurate because I factored out the landfill construction. That kind of misleads every month on the printout. It's not actually an operational item, it's more of a capital expenditure, but under Kelly's software, it has to be included there. So the 42% that you see is actually against our operating budget for the 6 months. It should be a pretty true figure on that. And that leaves us operating margins of about $622,924.92. And I will note that we have paid during the first 6 months, we have paid $546,122.40 on the new cell construction, which was about $2.25 million, and we paid about $550,000 on it approximately. Our cash on hand in the CD and in our checking account at the end of June was $2,169,101.61, which is a number I'm pretty pleased with because we still have about $1,700,000 due on the construction project. So if everything holds good, unless the bottom falls out, we have the money to pay for it and still have operating money and hopefully a little over that. So that's good news. Any questions at that point? I realize these numbers are fresh to you, you just got this, but give it a chance, look it over. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. Where we stand in regard to 2019, at the end of 6 months, our revenue is down a little bit. We're down about $48,465.10. And of course, no one likes to see a decline, but considering the circumstances of COVID-19 and the businesses being shut down and all of that, I think that's a pretty good number. It could have been a lot worse, and we still don't know what's in the future, but at this point, like I said, we're $48,465.10 under 2019 revenue. The expenses were up about $41,487.86. And you think, well, goodness, that's kind of wearisome too, but you can pretty well account for that on about the third or fourth line up from the bottom under permit modifications in the month of May. That was the final payment. Come in, Rick. That was the final payment on Mr. Hendrick's contract. We had a 10% holdback, and that was paid during the month of May. So really, the increase in expenses, you can almost track it down to that one item as well. And so our margins at this point is $89,961.96 off. If you take the revenue decrease and then the increase in expenses, it amounts to about $90,000 cash that we're a little shorter on than we were last year at this time. again, considering all the circumstances and all, I'm pretty pleased. You don't ever like to be down, but we pretty well know where everything is and we know the reason for it. Operations at the landfill are going pretty smooth. Everything running along pretty smooth. Like all other places, you have days when you have employees out and you have to double up and all those things and everything. We do have, since the first of the year, we have 2 pieces of new equipment. If you recall, about 3 years ago, we leased a compactor, and the 3-year lease was up on it in the spring, and a new one was delivered, and it's in service. And then we have another piece. It's a push, kind of push dozer, I guess you would call it. It's a 963, I think it is. And that was delivered about a month or so ago. So this was just a renewal of leases, trade in the old and lease a new one for another 3-year lease. And those are operational. They're in business today and being used every day at the landfill.
Are they comparable in size and function?
Yeah, they're more expensive.
$785.82 on the new track loader on them every month.
That's
Yes, it
a lot.
was.
Yes.
The judge worked with them on that, and I don't know, I assumed it was about the same size. I can't
Serious.
say that.
That's, we were gonna talk about it in a little minute
Okay.
anyway, because we need to appropriate a little more money.
Yeah. The judge has worked with Riggs on both of those transactions, and I don't know if it was upsized or not. I haven't been informed of that. But I do know that the payment was gonna run a little more from what I saw.
That didn't go through your committee though, did it?
No.
Are we still offering the cities a discount at the moment? Or were we ever on the demolition of the houses?
My information was that the city of Blytheville was being offered a 30% discount starting
Okay.
in the spring.
Okay.
And I assume that is still in
Okay.
effect.
But now, we need to know, the judge did that, when your committee didn't do that, the quorum court didn't do that.
No, we didn't. It did not come before our committee.
Oh, right, the discount, are you talking about the discount?
Yes.
So our tipping fees have not changed. We have a legal tipping fee structure that's set by ordinance.
Oh. Okay.
No.
Just saying.
I can always think of the good questions, yeah.
Well,
Just, yeah.
it's a question,
Well, I was just thinking it was good that we were still able to give them the discount. They seem to, what are they at?
they're doing well, but I mean,
They are doing a lot of
Yeah.
good, but then now we're $90,000
Yeah,
down too.
so they're, they're tearing down a bunch of houses, and that's a good thing, I think, so.
And the judge and I have talked a little bit, and the judge is doing some numbers and so forth, and I wasn't in the meeting, but it met with the mayors about a month ago and gave them some information about the landfill and so forth, and he is convinced that we need to look, and we discussed this a couple of months ago, we need to look at maybe raising the tipping fees. And I impressed on him, if we're gonna do that, we need to do it before the cities start preparing their budgets. I don't know how that's gonna go over. I know it's a struggle for a lot of the smaller towns particularly. But he's working on a number. He's doing some work on.
We've talked about that over the years, Chairman, where instead of putting it off every year, doing a little every year, so it's not so impactful in any individual season.
And we did that. If you recall, we had a major increase about, 5 years ago, something like that.
Exactly, and that's what,
$5 a ton, and then the next year we went up 50 cents, and then in the transition and all, we just never have done another increase.
depends on what entity it is. We normally start our county budget process in September.
Right.
I don't know when the city starts, but I would assume it would be somewhere in the fall time range.
I think they have to have theirs complete by November 2, I believe. Rick might knows on the cities.
I was trying to remember, I know they have to pass it before January 1st.
They may have a little more time than we do. But that's an item that we will probably be looking at as far as trying to decide what. And I would guess that there's going to be some opposition to that, simply because all I know is what I read in the newspaper, but every small town around seems to be strapped for cash. And but at the same time, you know, we need to be sure that this stays in a stable operation, because this is required. This is something that the county has to do, and we sure don't want to get in a.
If we don't, they'll be piling it up outside the city
They sure
limits
will.
or in the city limits, so.
They sure will. So it's important that we keep this on good footing. We're on good footing now. As long as it continues, no one knows, you know, and
When we raised it the last time to 56, did you do any type of plotting to see how much increase 50 cents would do, how much a dollar would do? Have you ever done anything like that?
I have not. We didn't do that at the time. We just thought the conversation was, well, if we do 50 cents every year, then, you know, we can kind of stay ahead of it.
But you know about how many tons a year you're taking.
About 90,000, so 50
So
cents.
50 cents would be about $45,000.
$45,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
$1
average
a
about
ton.
90,000 tons a year. And so 50 cents will bring in about $45,000.
Now, is the landfill open longer now than it was last year, or do we, are there more?
No, I cut back just a little bit. If you
Okay.
notice, the overtime hours is down about the overtime pay is down about $10,000. I think it was, I looked at it. It's not, I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
The
It's-
comparison's not on there.
Right, no, but you're right, it's not, I mean, it's only at 40%, is, am
I had a
reading that
comparison sheet
correctly?
on it.
Yeah, it's only running about 40% of the budget, so it's down quite a bit. I just didn't know, I was trying to think of,
It's down from 26,331 to 16,729.
okay.
It's down about $10,000. But we do, and again, it was just oversight, I think, and we were in the process. That time, we were on our third judge during that time, and that was my fault probably for not bringing up the raise on an annual basis to see if we could bring it up a little bit, but I just overlooked that, to be honest about it.
Doing a good job.
Well, it's
Oh, it looks really.
landfill is okay, but we want it to stay okay. And I say this every time, the thing that is scary about all of this is, even though we're gonna be able to pay for the new cell and all this and all that, but we could get a notice at any time to do the final closure on phase one. That's the gorilla out there that you're kind of scared of, you know. Right now, we seem to have a good relationship, and really, there's nothing, from an environmental standpoint, there is nothing on phase one that is any danger to anyone. The leachate is being pumped out of it, it's being disposed of properly, it's covered, and so I hope they just stay tight for a long time.
So has the cell construction started?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, that's my next note.
Sorry.
We've had a terrible time getting started down there, because when they built cell 15, they partially excavated cell 16 right next to it. And it's just it's like a pond. And water has stood in it all spring.
Seawater.
Seawater.
It's not rainwater, it's seawater.
Every time they've tried to get in there. So they finally, Judge and myself, JT and others met with the contractor about 3 weeks ago, I guess. and he decided that yes, he could come on. He moved equipment, the first equipment moved on the site. I was down there last Tuesday. He moved some equipment on the site last Tuesday. And there was an agreement signed by the judge going to the contractor that the days, the count started today, the 20th,
Okay.
today. So he has 120 days, I believe it is, to complete the project. Now, keep in mind, they're actually building two cells. They're building a cell 16, which is class 1, and then they're building another class 4 cell. So he's gonna be moving a lot of dirt and so forth. But the construction was scheduled to start today. I haven't been there today, but it's scheduled to start today. Any questions from anyone else? Like I said, I just want to update everyone. If you have any questions, anything comes to your mind, give me a call. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find out the answer.
I did note that we're back on track with leachate hauling.
We're back on track with leachate.
You know, our budget, we budgeted about $10,000 a month, and we fell behind there for a while.
Yes, we did.
And now then, we're right back on schedule.
We're right back on schedule. The expenses all in all, it's one's up, one's down, comparison wise, but overall, we're doing pretty well as far as the budget's concerned. We are gonna have to do something in regard to, as you mentioned, in regard to raising the amount in the lease line item, because that's going up, and that will be ongoing. So,
Kelly's got some numbers for us today.
yeah, good, okay. We'll get into that in the finance part.
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I was looking through it, and I saw a thing for Waste Pro for Arkansas Landfill. And it says 3 40-yard roll-offs in Armorel. Any ideas?
Can't answer that. I do know, I was told that there was some, I noticed I started getting a report that I never got before. They changed the young lady that takes care of this down there, and they used to send me a summary of the tickets. Now I get a listing of all the tickets. And I noticed that there was last month there was about 30 votes or so that were gone to the landfill, and there was cash tickets with no charge on it. And I inquired about that, and I was told that it was material from tearing down a school at Armorel, evidently the old elementary school, I'm guessing. And I was also told that there was a dumpster rented to put out there. It was $330 and some odd cents.
The county rented it.
It was charged to the landfill. So, I don't know what that was about. But it was charged to the landfill. And I'll be honest about it. I'm not trying to raise any alarm here. Maybe it's been this way all the time, because I've never seen these daily tickets until the last 2 months. But I counted 57 loads of no charges to the road department in last month. And I guess that's stuff, I inquired about that with James, and he said that's stuff that the road department just picks up around, the county when they're doing a job or something. I guess most of it goes in class 4. It seemed excessive to me, but I don't know what's normal. Maybe it's been that way all the time and I didn't know it. Because I've never gotten into the daily tickets. I've just seen summaries. But
When we're rich, it's not quite as concerning, but when we're running, right now, if we stay on track, it looks like we probably will end up, if it's second half of the year goes like the first half, we'll be about $150,000 down from where we were last year.
correct.
But the reason I say that is because of where we're at right now.
Yep.
but we don't have that $148,000 payment. We paid that off.
That's correct.
So we'll be about 45,000 or 50,000 more down. We're almost 100 now, so we'll be 140, $150,000 down from where we were last year.
Right. If things hold, that's where we'll be. Somewhere probably 140, 150, which is a pretty sizable, we've been averaging, in the time I've been involved with it, the 17, when you wash it all out at the end and make all the adjustments at the end of the year and everything, we've been averaging about $1 million per year net profit, which has all been plowed back into the landfill. But if you take $150,000 off of that, that's a 15% decrease. And when every dollar is pretty important, then it can, if you continue doing that, then we will have a problem again pretty shortly.
And if we've got this one piece of equipment, it's gonna cost us another $785 per month. One piece, if that happens with every other piece, you know, it could then increase our gap more.
Correct. Well,
We just gotta be careful.
12 times 784, that $9,000, $10,000 a year more.
For one.
One. And there is another piece. We had 3 pieces under lease. There's another piece that will probably come up the latter part of this year. And I don't know if there's anything been done on that yet or not.
Well, and we purchased something else to do for the landfill too, didn't we? Or is that, am I in the wrong department? Maybe that was the roads.
I don't know of anything that's
The
been
disc?
purchased.
Where's
The judge was gonna purchase a disc.
Okay, that's what I
But
was thinking.
he told me he has held up on that because he wants a particular kind and he wasn't sure that we could afford it right now.
Gotcha.
If you have 50 loads a month coming in right now, and that's coming in every month, that's 600 loads a year.
Mhm.
That's, you know, and not all of those are from the road department, are they?
They're all charged to the road. It's a 0 ticket and it gives the number of the truck from the road department.
There was 50 from the road department. There was another 30 from Armor Rail School.
The Armor Rail School was last month, May.
I'm just repeating what he said a minute ago. I don't know.
And in
So
June,
was that like a
there's
discount,
over,
or there was a 0?
0.
Okay.
I didn't see anything from Armor Rail School in the June report.
I just know, I did a roof 5 or 6 years ago, and rates were cheaper then. And Duncan ran me, and tipping it was about $450 doing a roof. So if you're talking 30 of them going through, that's $12,000.
Depends, what they're
Depends on
hauling.
how much is in them, but that's true. But if you're looking at $12,000 a month for 12 years, that's $144,000.
Kelly, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't know if you ever looked at those daily tickets or not over the years. Has there always been tickets charged to the road department, cash tickets 0? Has there always been a lot of those?
I don't know about a lot, but yes, road department tickets are always at 0, but I would have no idea what that
I was
would be.
just a little bit astonished at the number of them.
I can pull that for you.
And I inquired to James about it, and he said, well, it's stuff that they pick up all around the county. I guess on jobs or cleaning
they
ditches,
Cleaning ditches out.
whatever it amounts to.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with it if it's,
Do they still weigh it? I mean, when it comes through and it's.
I didn't see, I don't think they weigh it or anything, do they? It's just a cash ticket and it
They're
says. it.
supposed to be weighing it because we have to report how many tons are put in each cell. I think there's a weight.
I mean, I would just think, I mean, if maybe there's small loads or something like that, it would.
No, I think they're weighed because we have to count
I'm not
for
really
every.
worried about the ones that come through from the road department. I mean, that stuff, we'd just be robbing for Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, if you made the road department pay for them. But other outside entities, when they're dumping things in there, the 30 loads that came from Armor Rail,
Well, let me be sure now that everyone understand. I looked at the daily tickets. There's a name of a company there. And said cash ticket 0. And I inquired to Kelly, and she said her understanding was that it was material from tearing down a school at Arm Rail School. That's where I got that information now, and so it was after the fact. But it bothers me anytime I see a name of a company and then it says cash ticket 0, it kind of gets your attention.
Well, that shouldn't be happening.
Well,
Just like that, me and Mayor Blah sat down and discussed it one day, and I told him, I said, if you're gonna haul waste, you've got to look at it like you're in business. And that has to pay for itself. It shouldn't be coming out of your general fund. And same thing here, the landfill is a special account.
Well, and technically,
And I'm
I'm-
just asking questions.
I'm pleased that all of the processes that are going on and that property is old houses are being torn down. I'm pleased with all of that. But if you get into it technically, the fees, the landfill fees are set by ordinance.
Yes, they are.
And any deviation of that should be approved somewhere along the line.
Well, if it's not, you're in violation.
Well, so anyway, kind of goes back to separation of powers, I guess you could call it.
But just so I'm clear, so are you saying 30 of the 57 were from Armor Rail School?
No.
Oh, okay,
no,
sorry.
No,
Okay.
totally two different
Two
items.
different, okay, gotcha.
No.
So in essence, so we had the 57 plus the 30. So we had
Well,
87.
one was 1 month, one was the next.
Oh,
month.
okay.
And I'll have to go back, don't hold me to the 30, I'll have to go back and count those again. I went back and counted the the road department this month, 57. It might have been a few under 30, but it was several that came, and I was told from Arm Rail School, so. And but anyway. Any other questions of anyone that has or anything? If not, if you see something on there that you want to inquire about, give me a call and I'll do my best to try to find out the numbers and see what we can do with them. Is there any other business? If not, we'll turn the meeting over to Justice White and for the Finance Committee. Nope.